Good evening guys, how you doing? I hope you're all well. Welcome to the very first of a series of videos that I'm hoping will go down well. I recently finished recording Gotham Knights and I wanted to do a review of the game, give my opinions and what I thought of the game itself, and I hope you'll enjoy that. I'm also going to be reviewing the other games that I have played since starting the channel. I hope you enjoy these reviews. If you do, please let me know in the comments below. If you agree with me or disagree with me, please do let me know. But please do be respectful and bear in mind these are my opinions and only my opinions, and you're perfectly welcome to have your own. So let's get going. In this review I have a list here that I was working on of certain aspects of the game, and we're going to see. We're going to be discussing, as you can see, graphics, the world build, story, enemy strengths, the different fighting styles between all the different characters, different finishes, the battle sequences, they were quite fun, the different weapons. They vary between characters, but when you play as, say, Redford, all of these weapons are pistols of different variations. Abilities, obviously, and character development and cinematics. If there's any other areas you think I should be covering, please do let me know. There is one on here, or one that doesn't seem to be on that list that should be, which is the skins. Your costumes. In Gotham Knight terms, it would be the different outfits you can wear. So without going on too much, let's get on with it. So as I was saying, the first two categories are world build and graphics, which I think tie in pretty closely together. The graphics make the world build so much better. If you look at Gotham, like even from up here, the feel you get for Gotham is quite something. They faced quite a challenge with this game, being that it was a Batman game without Batman in it. But yeah, I think personally they did quite well with it. They did a lot better than I was expecting them to, anyway. So yeah, graphics and both graphics and world build, personally, I think we're pretty strong. While we're here, even when it comes down to the variations of the enemies.
I love cleaning the streets of scum like you.
Yeah, see, they were not like, the enemies in this aren't like majorly too hard, but they will give you a run for your money if you're not concentrating. They provide a challenge at definitely lower levels. As I say, you make a mistake and you're screwed. Anyway, yeah, so graphically speaking, this, I think it's running on 30 frames a minute, 30 FPS, 30 frames a second, I believe. Yeah, yes, it should be. I really did enjoy the graphics of it. It seems such an alive city for Gotham, which is what you want. It's as well as the sheer number of crimes. There's always something to be done, which there should be. Because this is a post-Batman Gotham, so crime should obviously be quite high on the rise, kind of thing. But yeah, anyway, moving on. Before I continue, I will grade the world build and graphics. I'll grade them about an 8 out of 10, maybe a 9 out of 10. I'm not going to be like overly generous and give them a 10 because I don't want to be because a lot of games would be giving 10s if I, because graphically they're all, well, there are obviously different series of graphics, but if I start grading one, there are a lot of games that are just as good as this one when it comes to graphics. Anyway, yeah, and there's not really any sort of glitches or anything that I've actually come across, apart from one or two which are nothing to do with graphics. Anyway, moving on to what's next on the list. Okay, next on my list was story. I very much enjoyed the story of Gotham Knights. It was a nice twist. I liked the fact that they brought back a lot of the old enemies, but they kept things interesting by giving them new things. And the way they wrote the enemies was still quite close to how they should be as Batman's enemies. For example, Harley Quinn, although she doesn't appear to have Joker around anymore, she seems to have a chaotic fun about her. She sort of lives off the chaos that she creates, particularly in Blackgate Prison, that she called it, sending the notebook across the thing by balloon, I think it was. It was quite nice to see how they kept the characters how they should be, as opposed to changing them. And then of course you've got the Court of Owls, who we have never really seen in a game before. We've seen hints, I believe, in games. In fact, the last piece of media I remember from the Batman universe mentioning the Court of Owls would be in the TV series Gotham. If you do remember some other media where the Court of Owls was mentioned, please do let me know. I'd be interested to know where else they were mentioned. Anyway, going along with that, you obviously, well not obviously, but you had the League of Assassins were involved in the main story, as you'd expect, given the beginning of the game. Batman's death it was Ray Charles who killed him, so as you might expect, that he played a substantial part in the storyline, and you actually ended up with a turf war between the League of Assassins and the League of Assassins and the Court of Owls, which was also quite interesting to see, because you would think with two rival militias like that in the same city vying for power, that they would come to a head, and of course they do, which is an aspect of the Batman universe we've never really seen before, the Court of Owls, let alone seeing them go head to head with the League of Assassins, which is also interesting. So yeah, the storyline, thoroughly enjoyed it. I'd give the storyline a 8 out of 10, a respectable 8 out of 10, I'd say, because it was not like, it was original with what we know of the Batman universe in there as well. There's aspects of old and new, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. Okay guys, next on the list is, I believe, enemy strength. Now, I think the best way to think this would be to actually find some criminals, and linking back to what I said about a world build, you never have to go too far to find a crime being committed. As I say, that links back to world build and that. So or at least I thought that was a crime. Okay.
You look even cooler in person, Red Hood.
That's Red Hood, huh?
Huh. Right. Hang on.
Red Hood?
Sorry.
Are those regulators around
I
too?
thought I found a crime.
Red Hood?
Okay, 54 meters that way.
Someone's going down.
Yeah, the easiest way to do this is to find a crime, I guess. And the variations, that is a crime scene of murder. That's the thing, there is different types of crime. The enemy strengths can vary, like there have been several times where I had to upgrade stuff between recordings because, you know, you might have gotten a bit bored by watching me just endlessly beat up criminals. get the XP. That again is a drawback. We can also talk about fighting style and finishes in this section as well. I will go more in depth, but yeah, it's depending on who you play as, obviously changes things.
Remind me, did you go to
like,
Ma Guns?
the best way I can sort of describe things is I mean, the fighting and enemy strength is not like stupid. It depends like how far you go through the game. It tends to be like a sort of. It's not like easy. There's a challenge involved, but it's not really so hard you'll never do it kind of thing. And okay, I died there because I was talking too much. But yeah, you get various different enemies, and also the suits come into it as well, because various suits will help against various enemies. Like you get cold resistant suits that take less effect when you're up against regulators, Mr. Freeze's men. The finishes, as I say, obviously vary, as does the fighting style. The best way to go about fighting styles, the two that I think I would compare would be Jason or Red Hood, as you've just seen, with his much more aggressive style, as it should be, because Jason is Red Hood. Although now, instead of using real bullets and guns, he uses, I believe, fake bullets, or rubber bullets, or whatever. But his hits, when he gets physical, are just as hard as anyone else. If anything, is slightly worse. He does get very aggressive, which you would expect, given it's Red Hood.
The already collapsed estate of the late Bruce Wayne has been closed to the public since it was destroyed earlier this year, leading many to speculate on what will become of the site the millionaire once called home.
Yeah.
Even after all this time, a makeshift memorial in Wayne's honor continues.
I do also like the fact that you have, while we were here, you had little cinematic scenes with the others. Like you had flashbacks to Red Hood and Batgirl here playing video games, and this must have been shortly after he came back to the right side again. And yeah, he was still having problems with, he was still having PTSD, if you like, over his little dip in the Lazarus pit. Ooh, what's this? See, this is one of the things I'm talking about, the little flashbacks.
If you're watching this, I'm Batman. Really, Dick?
Alfred had dinner ready an hour ago. How many versions of this are you gonna make?
me check.
This is actually the
In the
perfect.
event of my death at the hands of Crazy Quilt? Seriously? What about the event of my death? Of starvation?
Hear that? You're neglecting this poor kid.
You promised we'd have dinner together as a family.
You guys start, I'll be right up.
Oops. My hand slipped. But now you're up, so let's go.
This is important.
Would you just go? Or is I forgot to eat and starve to death on your list of videos?
I mean, if you want some advice on being dead, I got you covered.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
You're gonna need my password.
Am not.
You're always looking out for me.
I feel like Bruce is at peace now. Is that weird? That's probably weird.
You died twice. That's not really your usual definition of at peace.
Fair enough.
Sorry about that. See, I love that they put little things in that you will never see unless you play as a certain character. Right? Like, there's flashbacks everywhere for each character. So, that is a nice little detail. If you don't play as every character and explore the belfry, as they call it, you'll miss things. And that is actually really, really cool. All these nice little, neat little flashbacks that you get from each of them, I'm
Bruce really
imagining.
took that whole going out
I
and
didn't
blaze the glory
play
thing
as
seriously, huh?
But I think
the
he
others
repeats
too
the
much, to be honest with you. I played a little bit of
I think he had a cold
Nightwing, I
black
played a
video
little bit of Batgirl.
Probably.
I to be honest, I played a little bit of each of them, but I kind of favoured Red Hood maybe a little too much, but yeah. Anyway, getting back to things, I was showing you the differences in style between Red Hood and Nightwing. Talking about fighting style. So the variations of fighting style, see the front flips and things, because Nightwing, for anyone who doesn't know, Dick Grayson grew up in a circus. His parents were circus performers, as was he. So that is now reflected in his style of fighting, with his very acrobatic moves. Let's see if we can find us a crime to stop.
Oh, it's Nightwing.
What's that highlighted for?
This is it.
Oh, Gotham Tree, that's new. I didn't know that. Okay, I didn't know that was a thing. Okay. See what I mean? Even now I'm finding new stuff. What we got here? If I beat on the cops I ain't gonna get any XP for it, but...
Holy shit!
Heads up, we've got cover.
See what I mean? You can see he's very... he's very much...
Get clear!
very admittedly, I'm not fighting yet because I'm not
I've got line of sight.
paying that much attention, if I'm honest. Plus, he is actually quite low level, but you know, you take my point. The acrobatics and the finishes that you can pull off is quite a heavy contrast from Red Hood or the others, which I really quite enjoyed. What's next on the list? Finishers. I've already spoken about finishers and fighting style together. Battle sequences. There wasn't a whole lot of battle sequences, but the ones that were there were very good, I'd say. The cutscene where right at the end where we're fighting Talia, very good. The takedowns of the man bats were a pain in my arse, but again, once you leveled up, you got there, and then you know things worked out for you. It just took a lot of grinding. If you're into grinding to get stuff done, then by all means play the game. Skins and outfits next. Obviously each of the 4 characters has their own outfit and skin, if you will. There's a couple of downsides. No wonder I got beaten. Look at this. Look at my power levels are minimal. Oof, that's a horrible suit. I don't like that one. But it's a higher level, so you know, thing. But the thing is about these suits. Sorry about it cycling through there. Let me just move my camera so you can see Nightwing more clearly over there on the left hand side. Let's just go through the suits. Right, so these suits, right, some of them are very nice. Like, I like this one particularly, but it's way too low of a level to be taking on anyone. You'll get your ass kicked all the time. Right, the whole time. Now, bearing in mind, you can modify it to bring the level up, but there's only so much that the mods can do. Now, see, the only thing, the downside, as I say, right, these suits are, if there's a particular suit that you like, not so much. If there's a particular suit you like, but you want to keep that suit, but it's too low a level, there's not a lot you can do, apart from mods. But even the mods there's only so much the mods can do. So that's a bit of a downer on that one. If you were to, like, if you could change the look of the suit and keep the power level, that would be much better. But yeah, it's definitely the power level in the suit that lets it down a bit. Included, while we're here, let's talk about the weapons. Obviously, each of the heroes has their own weaponry. Nightwing has the schema sticks. You're gonna have to forgive me for my poor pronunciation. Yeah, he has his schema sticks, which are pretty cool. But, you know, if you like the look of a certain weapon, you can't really change that without it affecting the power levels. But, you know, there's worse things to be thinking about. He has his darts. Nightwing has darts on his wrist that he can fire, I guess. They're his ranged weapon. Personally, I didn't like his ranged attack that much, but, you know, each to their own, so yeah. And of course, the others have ranged weapons as well. I believe, I can't remember what Batgirl uses now. Let's have a look. What does she use? I can't remember the name of them. They're like truncheon sort of things. They sort of go backwards along the wrist. We'll swap to Batgirl quickly. And
Wonderful.
the detail in this is actually really quite something as well. Like someone like Nightwing or Red Hood, when they get hit, they get knocked back.
It's not fair. What how you did? How are you not angry about that?
Oh, I'm furious at Talia for everything. And someday I'll make sure she's held accountable for what she's done. Bruce wouldn't want me to be angry right now. He'd want me to carry on, like he'd want all of us to.
See, again, you get nice little conversations like that between characters. Anyway, as I was saying, we're going to swap to Batgirl quickly. And I can't remember what weapon she actually uses. Is there any little
As a friend. You mean because of Bruce? Or because of the Lazarus pit? I'm dealing as best as I can. I made an appointment with the doc. Yeah, so am I. After everything,
yeah,
I'm glad to be here with everyone.
sorry, it's,
Even you, Grayson.
I like the little conversations that you get between the characters. Like, it's not just completely silent. That's another detail that I really enjoyed. So anyway, yeah. Let's have a look. Characters, weapons. Stock suit. You see, that's the thing. She's still got a stock suit. But even like the variations on the suits. There are many and varied different suits. But I just wish we could like keep one particular Like, if I could take the top one and then change it aesthetically to whichever suit you want, that would make it so much better. Okay, tonfa. They're called a tonfa. They're sort of like fighting sticks, stay on your wrist, I guess. And I believe the young Robin has a bow staff. I do love how many variations of each weapon there are. Like, with Jason, a pistol's a pistol, right? Wrong, there's like loads of different variations when it comes to that. But yeah, I've been talking for like 23 minutes. This is gonna be a long review. Yeah, so there's that. I've sort of covered their abilities, sort of. They do have what they call momentum abilities, and they can be very helpful depending on the situation you're in. If you need help, if you need to get out of the situation, or you just want to overpower and get it done quick, momentum abilities are certainly the way to go. We got character next. We've sort of already talked about that. The characters' interactions with the other knights is quite something. You see little clips of like the young Robin ends up giving Red Hood ideas on how to increase the velocity of his guns without killing, because no kill rule, without killing the people. So yeah, cinematics were and finally we go on to cinematics. Cinematics were brilliant, actually, really well done. You got cutscenes were really well done. I'll be honest, the end of Gotham Knights for some reason caught me right off guard, even though fighting Bruce at the end was kind of I can see why that would have been an end of the road kind of thing. And fighting Talia, yeah. All the cutscenes were brilliant, to be fair. It was well done. Yeah. So, yeah. That's that, really. Anyway. Okay guys, we've come to the end of my review video. It's going to be a long one, so you'll have to bear with me on that. There's a lot to cover. I really did enjoy this game a lot more than I thought it would. I'll be honest, I came in with kind of low expectations for a Batman game without Batman in it. But the enemies looked fantastic, like pardon the pun, but Mr. Freeze was cold. Like, that design was brilliant. And Clayface didn't look that much like Clay in the sense of what we've seen him look like before, but I still liked it because if you look at Clay when you mould it on the spinning wheel, that's what he looked like. But anyway, I digress again. I'm gonna give this game a 8 out of 10, because generally speaking, I enjoyed it quite a lot. I liked all of the different aspects of it. I think there was a couple of drawbacks, like with the skins and outfits affecting your power level and not being able to change that outfit to the one you wanted without it affecting the power level. That was kind of a minor thing for me that knocked the overall points down a bit. Sorry. Yeah, that was a thing that kind of knocked it down a bit for me personally. But again, these are my personal opinions. If you don't like it, tough. Alright. Please do let me know your opinions in the comments, but be respectful. If you like this video, please do give it a like. Please do let me know what you thought yourself. I've already said that, but I'll say it again. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time for the next review.